So by level up, MAGBY's moveset isn't very good. It's really just fire moves of varying power and effect. But by TM, we do get stuff like Psychic, Brick Break, and Iron Tail, so it'll probably balance out a little bit. Our stats are pretty good, for a baby Pokemon at least. We have pretty high speed and decently high attack stats, but we're really frail, so we'll probably just get one shot, no matter what, even by not very effective moves. I replace Snivy with MAGBY so that both of our rivals will have something difficult for us to fight. And we go straight into a battle with Bianca. It's a really awfully long battle. We just spam Clear Smog. Well, she also takes residual poison damage until Oshawott faints, and somehow we don't. We win the battle, but man, that was terrible. And then Bianca heals our Pokemon, thankfully, and we fight Jiren, our other rival, who has Tepig. And we lose. We just take too much damage from Tackle while just not dealing near enough damage back with Clear Smog, and the poison residual damage just doesn't quite cut it. But I think we can win our next few fights, so it won't be too big of a deal. And now we go talk to Professor Juniper and get the Pokedex and start our adventure. We get to name our Pokemon too, and I named MAGBY Bubby, because that's its translation of its Japanese name. I'm not sure how that's pronounced though, because I don't speak Japanese. And now our adventure truly begins. So the rules for this run are pretty simple. No items in battle, but held items are okay. No other Pokemon in battle except for MAGBY. Obviously we'll need 8 gem Pokemon, because MAGBY only learns Rock Smash. So beating the run entails beating the Elite Four and Champion. But if there's a hidden final boss, such as Red and HeartGold and Soul Silver, we'll try to beat them, but if we can't, it's not too big of a deal, because we beat the main story anyways. So now the run begins. And now for the first end fight, he sends out Purloin, which isn't a big deal, because it's not that good. We just spam Ember until it faints, and he doesn't do much damage back, because he just doesn't attack for the most part, and goes for Growl a few times instead of Scratch. So this was very easy, especially since we have Ember now. And now for the first gym battle, and in this one, you get to fight between one of the 3 gym leaders. It just depends on what starter you take, and we have to battle Chili, who has a Pansear instead of a Panpour Pansage. So this is okay. He leads with a Lillipup. We hit it with an Ember to deal a little less than half health while he goes for Workup. We hit him with a critical hit Ember next turn though, so we take him out in one shot before he even gets a chance to hit us. And out comes Pansear. We miss our first Smog while he hits us with Incinerate. We hit our second Smog and our third Smog and get a crit on the third one and a Poison, which is very helpful, so that way we don't have to use our really weak moves. Instead, we can just focus on not taking hits while we let the poison do damage, which is what we do for the rest of the battle. We just spam Smokescreen so that we don't take damage and faint, because at this point, he already has 3 workups, so that he'd probably one-shot us, maybe 2 or 3-shot us, depending on what moves he chooses. So we just use Smokescreen, and he doesn't hit us, and we win the battle. And now we have the first gym badge. And now we make it to Nacrene City and have to fight N yet again. And this fight was a little bit harder than the first one. It took a few attempts because of his time pole and having Bubble Beam and his Pit of using Growl. But this one wasn't too bad. We just used Ember on Pit of and Timber while we used Feint Attack on Time Pole, and we got lucky that we didn't hit ourselves too much. So we beat him this time. And now for the Nacrene City Gym. We fight Lenora, who's a normal type user. And this fight was really hard because of her Watchog's Retaliate and Hertier's Intimidate. We confused Hertier on the first turn and then hit it with a few Rock Smashes to take it down after getting a crit in there. It doesn't even hit us one time. Out comes Watchog, and she just doesn't go for Retaliate for some reason. I don't know why she didn't do that. It probably would have one-shot me. And then the next turn, we hit a critical hit Rock Smash and take Watchog out in one hit. So that was rather anticlimactic of a fight, but that's okay, we got the second gym badge now. On to the third. And obviously Berg, he uses bug types, so this gym was very easy. Swept the entire gym, and then we get it to him. One-shot Whirlipede with Flame Burst, easily. Out comes Dwebble, just barely don't one-shot it, but I think it has Sturdy anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. Then we hit it with Rock Smash the following turn, and then a Flame Burst to beat it. And out comes Levani, his final Pokemon, and it's quad weak to fire, so we hit it with one Flame Burst and it faints too. We already had a level advantage just from beating Lenora, and by the time we got here it was even greater, so this gym was very, very easy. But that's okay, because the next one is not gonna be. And now for 3 straight rival fights in a row. First, Bianca, she sends out Herdier first, we don't quite take it out with Flame Burst. She heals up back to full. We hit it with another Flame Burst, it still doesn't take it out. She heals back up again. We hit her with a Feint Attack, and then another follow-up Flame Burst to take her out before she even gets a chance to hit us. And out comes her Duat, and this thing was pretty annoying, and it ended quite a few attempts. We used Confused Ray so it has a higher chance of hitting itself. Well, it just goes for Water Sport for some reason instead of attacking us. We hit it with the Feint Attack, well it goes for Focus Energy, still not attacking us. I'm not sure why it's not attacking. Unfortunately, it snaps out of confusion, so we just hit it with another Confuse Ray so it's still confused, and then it hits itself. And then on the next turn, I accidentally clicked Confuse Ray a second time, even though it wouldn't do anything. Luckily though, it hits itself in confusion again, where we hit it with a Feint Attack that doesn't quite take it out. Next turn, it hits us with the Razor Shell that deals 60 damage, and if it had got a crit, which I'm surprised it didn't, that definitely would have taken us out. We then heal up a little bit with the Oron Berry MAGBY was holding. A follow-up Feint Attack takes out her Duat, and out comes Muna, which we easily one-shot with a Feint Attack. Then comes her final Pokemon, Pansear, and we get a critical hit Feint Attack to take it out in one shot as well. So now we beat Bianca for the second time. And now straight on to Chiren after leaving the gate. And he's not too bad, even though there's the Sandstorm. He leads with Pit Up, hits us with the Quick Attack, but we take it out with a Flame Burst. Out comes Pansage, we take it out with a Flame Burst too. And then here's his Liepard, his third Pokemon. We hit it with a Flame Burst, but it lives on a sliver, probably just 1 health. And then it hits us with a Pursuit and does a decent amount of damage. After taking Sandstorm damage, we heal up with a Berry, and he dies to Sand. And out comes his last Pokemon, Pignite. We take it out between a mixture of Rock Smash, confusing it and it just hitting itself every time, and Sand damage. It doesn't even hit us, and if it did, we probably would have lost, actually. But that's okay, because we beat Chiren anyways. And now for the last of the 3 straight rival fights before the 4th gym. And we take out a Sandile with 1 Rock Smash, so that was easy. In comes Darumaka, we hit it with a Rock Smash, get a Defense Drop, and then it hits us with a Headbutt, but it doesn't even deal half of our health. We then hit it with a Feint Attack the next turn to take it out. In comes Scraggy, his 3rd Pokemon, but 1 crit Flame Burst takes it out. And now for his final Pokemon, Sigilif? Either way, we hit it with a Feint Attack, and deal about almost all of its health, while it goes for Tailwind. Next turn it outspeeds us due to Tailwind's double speed bonus, and hits us with a really weak Psybeam, and we live it easily. And another Feint Attack takes out Sigilif, beating N for the 3rd time. Now on to the 4th gym. Now for Elisa, the 4th gym leader of Nimbasa City. It was a lot more difficult because of all our Volt Switch and Paralysis shenanigans. Basically, I just grinded until I got Fire Punch and could one-shot her Emolgas with it, and that's what we do against our first Emolga. Unfortunately, we get paralyzed, so our second Emolga can come in and hit us with a Volt Switch before we can hit it. In comes Zebstrika, her 3rd Pokemon. We hit it with a Fire Punch and almost take it out, and then next turn she uses a Hyper Potion, heals all the way back up to full, and we use Feint Attack so we don't do quite as much damage, so she won't heal again, and then hit it with a Fire Punch after taking massive damage from a Spark. And thanks to the Oron Berry MAGBY was holding, we managed to live another Volt Switch from her last Pokemon, Emolga, and take it out with a Fire Punch follow-up. Luckily, we didn't get paralyzed at all during that battle, so we beat Elisa and got the 4th gym badge. And now we fight Chiren again for some reason. I don't know why this game has so many rival fights, it's very odd. We one-shot Liepard and Pansage with Fire Punch after taking Fake out. And in comes Pignite. We go for Confuse Ray on the first turn, and then it hits itself in confusion. The next turn we go for Rock Smash and get a defense drop, and it heals back up with its Citrus Berry. Thanks to the defense drop, when it hits itself again, it deals a lot of damage, meaning we can take it out with another Fire Punch. And out comes Chiren's last Pokemon, Tranquil, his evolved Pidove. We hit it with one Fire Punch and take it out due to our massive level advantage, beating Chiren for the third time. And now for Clay. This gym leader was really annoying because he has Bulldoze, which lowers our speed, so he had to be fast enough and deal enough damage to one-shot his Pokemon, otherwise we would just lose. So on Krokorok, we hit it with a Flamethrower to take it out in one shot. Out comes Palpitoad, we hit it with Confuse Ray and it hits itself on the first turn. We hit it with Feint Attack as a follow-up, but it breaks out of confusion, but it just uses Aqua Ring, which doesn't heal very much health, and gets it out of Clay's healing range, so a follow-up Feint Attack takes it out. And now for his final Pokemon, an Ace, Excadrill. This thing is usually really annoying, but because of its pretty low special defense, we hit it with one Flamethrower and take it out, winning the 5th gym badge. And now to battle Bianca again. We hit Herdier with one Flamethrower to take it out, and out comes Duat. As usual, we go for Confuse Ray on it on the first turn, but it breaks through confusion and hits us with a massive Razor Shell, taking us down to about half health, and after Hail, we're below half health. We hit a Flamethrower to take it down to just about a third of its health, and then it hits itself in confusion, but after taking hail damage as well, it's in range for Bianca to heal, so we just go for Feint Attack instead the next turn, so she won't heal again. A Flamethrower after that manages to take it just to 1 health, and then it hits itself in confusion and takes it out luckily. If it had hit us again, we definitely would have fainted. Out comes Musharna. We hit it with a Feint Attack to take it down to about a third of its health, I'd say. And then it just goes for Lucky Chance, so we can't crit it, but that's not a big deal. We hit it with another Feint Attack to take it out the next turn. And out comes her final Pokemon, Painseer, and we're in red health. We hit it with a Feint Attack to take it down, again, to about a third of its health. And it hits us with Bite, which takes us down to only 8 health. And after Hail, we're only at 2 health. We hit it with another Feint Attack to take it out, however. If it had taken any more turns, we would have lost. But that's okay, we beat Bianca this time. And hey look, it's N, again. This time in Chargestone Cave. We hit Boldore with a Rock Smash to take it down to again, a third health. I don't know why it always happens like this. And he uses Iron Defense, so we can't take it out on the follow-up. But he then goes for Smackdown, which does a lot of damage, but then he just doesn't heal, so another Rock Smash takes it out. Out comes Joltik, which is part bug, so one Flamethrower takes it out easily. And now on to his final Pokemon, Clink. And one Flamethrower takes it out too. And now on to his actual final Pokemon, Ferroseed, which is quad weak to fire, so one Flamethrower definitely takes it out, and we beat N once again. And now to fight the 6th gym leader, Skyla. She starts off with a Swoobat, which is part Psychic, so we take it out with one super effective Feint Attack. And out comes Swanna, her second Pokemon, which could be an issue because it's part Water, but we confused it on the first turn, and it hits itself, and on the second turn we go for Feint Attack. It doesn't hit itself again, and goes for Aqua Ring instead, so on the third turn it's out, we can hit it with another Feint Attack and take it out. And now for her final Pokemon, an Ace, on Pheasant. It hits us with a quick attack to deal less than 40 damage, and then we hit it with a Flamethrower and take it out in one hit, winning the 6th gym badge. It's Chiren again. This guy really seems to think he stands a chance against us, and he does not. Out comes this on Pheasant, and hey look, it's the male one this time. I think this one's really cool looking. And we take it out with a crit Flamethrower on the first turn. He doesn't even hit us with quick attack or anything. And out comes his Pignite. We hit it with the Flamethrower, and it deals pretty good damage for being resisted. And then he goes for Takedown, which also deals pretty good damage. Due to recoil and hail, he's down to less than half health. And interestingly, he has leftovers. That's pretty cool. And then we hit it with another flamethrower, which deals enough damage to take it out. And out comes Lipard, and it goes for fake out, so we have to take an extra turn of hail damage, and we get flinched, so we can't take it out this turn. We go for flamethrower on the next turn and take it out in one shot. And out comes his final Pokemon, Simisage, and this is a grass type, so it's weak to fire, so one flamethrower takes it out, no surprise there, and we beat Chiren. He really just doesn't stand a chance now, does he? And now for Bryson, the 7th gym leader and an ice type user. Brick Break takes out Vanillish in one hit, Flamethrower takes out Beartic in one hit, and then another Brick Break takes out Cryogonal in one hit. This was the easiest gym badge by far. He didn't even hit us. I see why he became a movie star in the sequel instead of staying as a gym leader. He just isn't good. And look, it's Bianca again. I wonder if she'll beat us this time, huh? Stoutland comes out and it has Intimidate, so our attack is down for the entire battle. But we hit it with Brick Break and it takes it down to about a quarter of its health anyways. She heals up the following turn after using Retaliate, and we use a Flamethrower to take it back down to about a quarter and take it out the following turn. And out comes Samurott, and we use Confuse Ray like we always do, just in case, and it hits itself 3 times in a row. Well, we just go for Brick Break, and it takes it out without even hitting us. Poor Bianca getting the really bad RNG. Out comes Musharna, and it manages to tank Feint Attack really well. It's still over half health, but it can't take a follow-up Flamethrower and Feint. Out comes our final Pokemon, Simisear. We go for Confuse Ray again, so maybe it'll hit itself and take itself out. It doesn't, but it just goes for Leer instead, while we take it out with 2 Brick Breaks, beating Bianca for the final time. And now to fight Dragon, the 8th gym leader, and man, the team composition in this game is weird. He still only has 3 Pokemon, and he's the last gym leader. We take out Fracture with 2 Brick Breaks, because he just goes for Dragon Dance, but doesn't outspeed us after anyways. Out comes Druddigon, we go for Confuse Ray, and it's kind of annoying due to Rough Skin, but we take it out with 2 Flamethrowers, and it hitting itself in Confusion twice, which is very lucky on our part. Well, actually it barely manages to live the second Flamethrower, and hits us with the Dragon Tail, but it gets burned and faints anyways, and unfortunately I forgot to take our HM Pokemon out of our team, so my Woobat comes out. But luckily it's a really low level, so it faints fairly easily, and has moves so it won't deal any damage against the opponent. I accidentally pressed Keep Battling for some reason, even though I could have gotten the free swap into MAGBY. I'm not sure why I pressed Keep Battling, I think I just didn't pay attention. However, Woobat just gets 1 shot anyway, so it's not a big deal, and we send MAGBY back out to finish the battle. He goes for Dragon Dance, and then does outspeed us after the boost, but he just goes for Assurance, a pretty weak move, and we take him out with a return, winning the 8th gym badge, and now we can go on to the Elite 4. And now to battle Chiren for the last time, finally. He leads with Unpheasant, and we hit him with Return to deal pretty good damage, and he just goes for Razor Wind, which is a charge move. So on the follow-up turn, we hit him with a second Return and take him out. In comes Empool. You hit him with a return for massive damage, and he just goes for Takedown, which does a lot to us, but he takes some recoil too. And a second return finishes him off. And out comes Lipard. For whatever reason, he just doesn't go for Fake Out, and we hit him with Flamethrower to take him out in 1 shot. And out comes his last Pokemon, Simisage, which, of course, is 1 shot by Flamethrower, like it always has been since he got it. And now we beat Chiren for the final time. And we beat all the Elite 4. They were really annoying and were kind of boring, so I didn't bother recording any of them. It was just 1 shot or be 1 shot. And what's this? We battle N instead of the champion? That's crazy. And this fight was pretty hard too. He leads with Zekrom, the other legendary Pokemon. On the first turn, we go for Confuse Ray, so maybe it'll hit itself a few times. If you haven't noticed, Confuse Ray has been a big part of this run. And luckily, it does hit itself and deals pretty good damage, all things considered. We go for Brick Break the following turn, which takes it to about half health, and he goes for Light Screen. I'm not sure why he would do that, but it doesn't matter, and we hit it for a return, which takes it out. Out comes Karakasa, and we hit it with the Confuse Ray in hopes it'll hit itself and break its own sturdy, which it does. Then on the next turn, we go for Brick Break and one-shot it. Out comes Archeops, the other fossil Pokemon, and after thinking for a while, I go for Brick Break, which takes Archeops down to about a quarter of health and puts it in defeatist range. It hits us with Acrobatics and then gets burned, which is really unfortunate for it, so it doesn't deal any damage. Then he uses a full restore. We hit it with another Brick Break, which also does a lot of damage, almost taking it out, and then we hit it with a third Brick Break to finally take it out. Out comes Clink Clank, which is such a silly name for a Pokemon, and it gets taken out by one Flamethrower. And out comes his fifth Pokemon, Zoroark. I'm not sure why he used it now instead of earlier, but either way, it gets taken out by one Brick Break. And out comes his final Pokemon, Vanillux, which gets taken out by one Flamethrower. We beat N, but now we have to beat Getsis. And now for Getsis, the true overlord of Team Plasma. This fight was really annoying, because if we got Toxic on Cofagrigus, we just straight up lost right away. We go for Confuse Ray on the first turn, and it hits itself luckily, and then we hit it with Flamethrower to take it out all the way down to low health, and then we get Toxic. I don't know if we can beat this now, but I gave myself a Pecha Berry, which heals the Toxic. Then on the next turn, after he heals, we go for Confuse Ray again. He just goes for Protect, which doesn't really matter, and then we hit him with the Flamethrower on the next turn, and he gets burned. So then, he hits himself in Confusion, and after burn damage, gets taken down to just like 1 health, and a follow-up Flamethrower takes him out. Bouffalant gets outsped and one-shot by a crit Brick Break. And out comes Seismitoad, a really annoying Pokemon in general, and we go for Confuse Ray. It hits itself, and on the next turn we go for Return for massive damage, taking just down to 1 health, and then it hits itself a second time, taking it out. Out comes Bisharp, but one Flamethrower takes it out too. Out comes Hydreigon, which could be scary, but we outspeed it, and it's part dark, so one Brick Break takes it out. Out comes his final Pokemon, Electros, which manages to live a Flamethrower in red health and hit us with a massive Wild Charge, which almost takes itself out. On the next turn, we go for Return and finish him off, beating Getsis. We beat him and saved the world. Well, mostly just Unova, but, you know. And with that, we beat Pokemon Black. But that's not all. There's actually a hidden post-game fight in Undella Town, a place you can't get to until post-game. Look who it is! It's our old friend Cynthia from the Sinnoh region. I wonder if she's just as hard as in the Phanpy run. You should go check that out, it's pretty cool. And she definitely is. She's probably harder in this even. I had to grind all the way to level 100 to even stand a chance. And then, even then, I had to go find the double team at the end. Out comes her Spiritomb, and we go for Confuse Ray. If you haven't noticed already, Confuse Ray was definitely the best move I ever got. It goes for Double Team, which is really annoying, because that means we are gonna miss a lot. And it has the pressure ability, meaning that we're gonna take more PP anyways. We go for Double Team ourselves on the next turn so that it won't hit us with Shadow Ball or Sucker Punch. It goes for Double Team again itself. I also go for Double Team a second time, so now we're both at +2 evasion. It snaps out of Confusion and goes for a third Double Team. I also go for a third Double Team while it goes for a fourth Double Team. I miss my first Flamethrower while it goes for a fifth Double Team. But I hit the follow-up, and then it goes for a sixth Double Team. We miss another Flamethrower and it hits us with a Shadow Ball, but we have leftovers so we heal a little bit over time anyways. We hit a fourth flamethrower, or rather, a second flamethrower I suppose, and take it down to just a sliver, and it misses Shadow Ball, which is very good for us. Then, on the turn that she uses a full restore, we go for Confuse Ray. But we miss, unfortunately. It goes for Sucker Punch and misses, while I go for Flamethrower and miss myself. I go for another Flamethrower and miss again, while it goes for a Shadow Ball and misses itself as well. But another Flamethrower finally lands, and we do some pretty good damage and burn it, which is really helpful. And it misses another Shadow Ball. It goes for Sucker Punch, which fails since I decide to go for more double team boosts, so I can let the burn and confusion take it down. And now we have +6 in evasion, but it somehow manages to hit a Shadow Ball, which is pretty good damage, but it finally gets taken out by the burn. Out comes my Lodic, and if this hits even one move, we're done for, so I go for Confuse Ray. She misses Hydro Pump, and we hit a return that does pretty good damage. She then misses a second Hydro Pump. We hit a second return, which almost takes her out, but then she hits herself in Confusion, which does take her out. Out comes our Garchomp, and this thing was terrifying. It sometimes would land Earthquakes, even through +5 or 6 evasion. And it outspeeds us, but it misses Earthquake this time, and we hit it with Confuse Ray. It hits itself in Confusion, and then we hit it with a return to take it down to just below half health. It hits itself a second time, and then we hit it with another return to take it out. Out comes Braviary, and we hit it with a Confuse Ray, and then it misses Shadow Claw. We hit it with return, which takes it down to a little more than half health, and then it hits itself with Confusion to take it down to about a third of its health. And then we hit it with the second return the next turn to take it out. Out comes Lucario, but it's kinda frail, so one Flamethrower easily takes it out. And out comes her final Pokemon, Electros, just like N. We confuse it, and it hits itself in Confusion right away. And on the next turn, we go for a return. Takes it down to about a third of its health, but it breaks out of Confusion and hits us with a very powerful Wild Charge through 6 evasion boosts, and takes us down to only 95 health. But now it's in red health itself due to recoil, and a follow-up return finally takes it out, and we beat Cynthia, probably the hardest fight in this game. Wow, we beat Cynthia yet again. It seems that she maybe isn't the hardest trainer, and in fact, Red is, because I just can't beat him in any of my runs. Or will I? Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this MAGBY run. It was really hard at some points, but really easy at others, and was pretty fun all in all, and I got to beat Pokemon Black for the first time. If you liked this video, maybe go check out some of my older Pokemon Challenge runs, and stay tuned for some of my future runs. The next video is going to be another Johto Aces challenge, this time with Miltank, Whitney's ace. And if you have any suggestions for future Pokemon runs, leave them in the comments below and maybe I'll do it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay silly.